They are no longer coming for our leaders with just poison pens or bribed generals. The game has changed. The shadows have moved from the back rooms of embassies to the clear blue skies over the Indian Ocean. Few days ago, while the world was looking elsewhere, a silent mechanical death was hovering over the presidential palace in Antananarivo. This wasn't a movie. This was reality. President Michael Randrianarina of Madagascar just survived another attempt to delete him from the face of the earth. They used drones, people, high-tech, sophisticated eyes in the sky meant to monitor his every move, to find that 1 second window of vulnerability and to strike without warning. But the presidential guards, they weren't sleeping. They were on high alert, top alert. They brought those drones down before the cowards behind the controllers could even press fire. This is the second time. Let that sink in. The second time in a matter of months that this man has looked the Reaper in the face and blinked first. Welcome back to Power and Pulse. If you value the truth over the official narrative, you are in the right place. Today, we are dissecting the high-profile stake chess match happening on the island of Madagascar. We are going to talk about why the colonial masters are losing their minds, why a visit to Russia is considered a death warrant, and the dangerous game of dancing in two camps. Let's talk about the hardware, drones. Using drones for an assassination attempt isn't just about the kill. It's about the message. It says we can reach you anywhere. We don't need a man on the ground. We don't need to infiltrate your inner circle. We just need a signal. The guards in the Madagascar did an incredible job foiling this plot. They proved that indigenous command over their own security is growing. But you have to ask yourself, where did these drones come from? Who has the satellite capacity to guide a drone to the precise coordinate of a presidential palace in the middle of the Indian Ocean? This wasn't a lone wolf with a toy from a hobby shop. This was a professional operation. This was the work of people who have been monitoring Madagascar for decades, not to help it grow, but to ensure it never steps out of line. Madagascar is no longer just a beautiful island. It is a beautiful strategic battlefield. And President Randrianarina is the man standing right in the crosshairs. Why is Michael R being targeted? To understand the why, you have to look at his passports. A couple of months back, the president paid a visit to Russia. He sat down with the leadership in Moscow. He talked about cooperation. He talked about native empowerment, and the West, they felt the floor drop out from under them. Then, in a move that I can only describe as a diplomatic tightrope walk, he returned home. And within days, he hopped on a flight to France. You are trying to be a diplomat in a world that only respects dominance. You think you can please the former colonial masters, the ones who still think they own the air you breathe, and at the same time cooperate with the Russia without consequences. Trust me, these Western masters don't like it when you are not fully submissive. They don't do partnerships, they do ownership. And the moment you show that you are looking for a new path, they look for a new way to delete you. They don't want a neutral Madagascar. They want a captured Madagascar. When you dance in two camps, you aren't balanced. You are a target for both sides. To the West, Randrianarina looked like a betrayal. They think after all the aid we gave you, after all the advisors we sent, you have the nerve to talk to Moscow? To the East, he looks like a liability. They think if he's still flying to Paris every other week, can we really trust him with our strategic interests? So, Colonel Michael is a military man. He knows strategy. But in the world of global geopolitics, neutrality is often just another word for vulnerability. He is trying the best to serve his people. I truly believe that. He wants the best deals for Madagascar, but he's stepping on the toes of giants, and those giants have very long legs and very heavy boots. The day he stepped on those toes in Moscow, the countdown started. The drones were just the latest attempt to settle the score. If you want to stand for the autonomy of your country, you have to be ready for the fire. You cannot claim strategic independence while still asking for the master's permission to exist. The president of Madagascar needs to be smart. He needs to realize that bilateral relationships with the West are rarely bilateral. They are extractive. They are conditional. They are meant to keep you in a state of perpetual consultation while they take what they need. The moment you decide to assume the full responsibilities of a leader, the moment you decide that your soil belongs to your people and not to the boardroom in Paris, you become dangerous. And when you are dangerous, they don't send a diplomat, they send a drone. We have to give credit where it's due. The presidential guards in Madagascar are proving to be some of the most alert on the continent. Foiling a drone plot is not easy. It requires tech, it requires instinct, and it requires absolute loyalty. But guards can only protect the body. They can't protect the policy. If the president doesn't make a clear decision on where he stands, he is putting those guards in an impossible position. He is keeping the door cracked open for the delete squad. Every time he tries to balance the relationship, he provides the least opportunity for the enemy to strike. And as we saw last Friday, they only need one opportunity. They are patient, they are cold, and they are relentless. But make no mistake, if the drones don't work, they'll move to phase 2. If they can't delete you from the surface of the earth, they will try to capture you legally. They will start laying horrible manufacture charges suddenly. International courts will be interested in Madagascar suddenly. There will be human rights reports. They will try to nail you with charges that will keep you in a cell or in exile for the rest of your life. It's the same playbook they've used from Libya to Cote d'Ivoire. First, the accident of the assassination. If that fails, the indictment. Randrianarina needs to look at history. He needs to see what happens to leaders who try to play both sides without having a military power base that is 100% indigenous command. Madagascar is at a crossroads. The island is rich. It has resources the world is dying for. And because of that, the world is willing to kill for it. The president survived this month, but what about next month? What about next year? Colonel Michael must make a clear stance. He must stand for his country's supremacy. He must assume the weight of that decision and be ready for the consequences. You cannot dance with the devil and the angel and expect to go home with a clean soul. You have to choose your partner. And in this era of the African awakening, the only partner that matters is the African people and the allies who actually respect our self-governing authority. This isn't just about Madagascar. This is a warning to every African leader who thinks they can outsmart the old masters. They are watching you. They are monitoring your palaces. They are checking your flight logs. If you want to be free, you have to be ready to be a target. You have to strengthen your national control. You have to stop seeking validation from the very people who want to replace you with a puppet. Randrianarina is trying. I know he is, but trying isn't enough. When drones are circling your bedroom, you have to be decisive. You have to be unbreakable. The drones were foiled, but the agenda remains. The masters haven't gone anywhere. They're just recalibrating. Michael Randrianarina is still standing, but the question is, what will he do with this second lease on life? Will he keep trying to please everyone, or will he finally lock the door to the West and focus on the indigenous command of his nation? The sky over Madagascar is clear for now, but the storm is still brewing, and the pulse of the continent is watching every move. Stay vigilant, stay analytical, and stay unbreakable. I'm your host, Marie, and this is Power and Pulse, and I will see you in the next one.